Hi there, we're live. Welcome to the Graduate Ambitions Q&A session. You might notice that I'm not Lisa. I'm Laura. I work with Lisa very closely. Lisa is having a few technical issues at the moment. We can't get her on camera, so she'll be with us very, very shortly. So welcome. You will see that I've pasted a few rules into the chat box for you. So I'll just give you a quick explanation of how the session will run. What we would love is if you could speak live. We think it's a brilliant opportunity for you to get used to the camera, which for those of you that are going through interviews at the moment, there's a lot of cameras going on. So we'd love to speak to you face to face. It also gives us an opportunity to ask you questions back, build a rapport, and really get to the bottom of the problems that you're having at the moment with your graduate job search. So today I have two fantastic speakers here with me. I've got Bianca Praino and Marie de Helly. And I'm sorry if I've pronounced names wrong, but I will get them both to introduce themselves properly. And then we will be able to answer your questions on getting your career sorted in the UK and all of those nitty-gritty issues and the changes that have been happening lately to get you on track. So I will go over to you, Bianca.
Hi, yes. So first, big thanks to Graduate Ambitions for inviting me along. So I'm Bianca. So I recognise a couple of names, but I'm the founder and director of Praino Careers. So I specialise in providing career support to international students, graduates, and also people outside the UK looking to get in on skilled worker visa and sponsored jobs. So this is a really, really good opportunity to get your questions answered and, really engage with us and, take the opportunity because it is a challenging time in particular for, international students facing particular challenges. So, just make the most of the session and, we're here to answer all your questions. So I look forward to it and thanks again for inviting me along.
And over to you, Marie.
Over to you, Marie.
How about you?
Hi, everyone. I am Marie de Helly. As you can hear in my accent, I'm French. I've been living in the UK for the past 10 years, and I'm currently the Group Development Manager at Rentokil Initial, which is a pest control company, and hygiene as well. We have quite a few businesses, actually. And so my experience started in recruitment and took me to people development as well. So I'm also an internal coach, and I'm coaching global talents across the globe annually. So I'm really looking forward to helping you in terms of how you can think about your development and, things like how to deal with rejections and stuff like that. So I agree with Bianca. We're here, to help and answer as many questions as we can.
So I'd just like to ask first, does anybody feel brave and that they want to be the first person to come up and ask us a question? If that's you, then please could you head over to the questions section on the right-hand side of your screen and type in your name, and I can pass the mic to you and we can start chatting. And if there's no one feeling brave, we do have a few questions that people have written in advance, so we can get the ball rolling. But we would absolutely love one of you to come up here and speak to us.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong questions.
Great. I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong because I'm terrible at pronouncing names, but I'm going to Siddharth. I'm going to invite you up to the stage. And you can tell me just how badly I've got your name wrong. Hi there.
Hi guys.
Hi.
I met Bianca first before only, so I'm new to this guys. So my first question is, I'm applying for jobs for about now 8 months, and I got to the advice that you should change your CVs and update your CVs, get professional help, and I did that too. Still, I'm not able to get to the interviews, so I want to know what more I can do at this stage. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll let you-
so I'm happy to start. Yeah, so I think well done for seeking professional advice with your CV, and you took on that feedback and you've done that. So I think maybe it could be to maybe tweak your job search, what kind of jobs that you're actually applying for, so making sure that they are the right jobs for your level of education and your professional experience. And so there's different types of job opportunities in the UK. So you might have, like graduate roles, internship, placement, all these words are, so making sure that you're really applying for the right jobs for your level and your career. And you can do that by really going through the job description. They'll say what the essential criteria is, what the desirable criteria is, and if you are missing some gaps or like some skills gaps, then there's ways that you can bridge those gaps, by doing online courses. You can sign up volunteering, and then you put that on your CV, and then they can see that you're actually bridging that gap. So that's probably one thing I would say is, just kind of make sure you're applying to the right type of jobs, if you've already had your CV done. So over to anyone else.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, and one more thing. Hi, Lisa. Hi.
Hi. Hello. I am so sorry I'm so late. I had issues with my camera totally disappearing off my I just didn't have it as an option on my screen. So yes, apologies to everyone for being so late.
Right. I have one more question. Just tomorrow I have a get to know interview with Amazon. So what I can expect from them, and what type of questions they'll ask, and what should I prepare?
So I'm happy to jump on that one if you want. But I think there is a little bit of feedback coming from your computer. So if you don't mind putting yourself on mute in between questions, I think that might help. Thank you. So in terms of questions to prepare, I think that making sure that you've done your research beforehand, understanding the company, their values, very important. What are the values that they carry? What can you bring to the company individually? What makes you stand out compared to other candidates? So be very aware of your strengths, and be prepared to also be challenged on your previous experience. How did you deal with a previously challenging situation? They will probably want to kind of assess that. So think about examples in advance. Try to really reflect ways of putting a story that would really help you kind of stand out once again. So it's not about you usually coming with unprepared answers. It's really very well prepared on your storyline, the examples that you want to bring that really and enhance your strength. And even if you talk about a challenge, you can also say that was challenging, but this is how I overcame this. I hope that helps. Bianca, have I forgotten anything?
No, that's all.
Yeah. Sounds good. And sorry, you mentioned obviously you're doing that preparation for Amazon, and I apologise that I missed your earlier questions. But do you feel that you've had a good enough response in terms of what your questions were? Have we answered everything that you had so far?
Yeah. My first question was that I was not able to reach till interview. So what more I can do? I did for my CV, I got help from professional bodies, from Top CV or somewhere. I drafted my CV, my cover letter, and my LinkedIn, everything. But still, I'm not able to reach till interview. So that's why I was asking what more to do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I'm sure Bianca and Marie have already answered.
You have managed to reach an interview with Amazon, so that's good.
Yes, definitely. So all of the preparation work you've done so far has definitely paid off, because it's got you to this point. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think then if you take Marie's point about doing the preparation, the research, and understanding the values, and because that's generally what the questions around about. And I think the only other thing I would add to that is about why are you passionate about joining that company? They want to know not only what you can bring, but what made you want to apply to work there anyway. You know, so I think it'd be really good to know this is the story that you've got to tell them that will help make you memorable to in their eyes, as well as ticking all those boxes in terms of the skills and experience that you bring to the workplace. So yeah, I'm sure you have a good a good story about your interest and passion in working for them, and in terms of what they can offer as being an employer.
And if I may add something that just popped into mind, because I'm doing quite a lot of video interviews, and I find sometimes that people are so focused into what they're saying that they forget to smile, or at least to kind of, you know, it's also taking a deep breath, relaxing if you can, as much as you can. And every personality is different, and it can be extremely stressful for some of you. But try to really show your personality, who you are as a person. You know, if you feel like it's okay to crack a joke, you know, go on, be yourself, but at least smile. It really helps with the communication with the other person. You don't have to smile all the time, but in between, you know, sentences or in pauses in the conversation, try to show that you are, you know, kind of open to the conversation, and that it's a pleasant conversation.
Yeah, I think what Lisa and Marie were saying about your, you know, how you tell your story is sometimes more important than what your story is, you know. So you've got to remember that they've got all the facts on your CV, they've got your cover letter, so don't duplicate that kind of in the interview, and take the opportunity to, you know, get across your motivation for, you know, how that job actually aligns with your career goal at the moment, and, you know, making it meaningful and bringing it into context for yourself. And that narrative is really important. And also, you know, why the UK as well? Why do you want to stay in the UK? That's always, you know, because that's your story and that's your background, and that's, you know, unique to you. So yeah, that's a really important point. So yeah, hone in on that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. I really like.
You're welcome, Siddharth.
Thank you.
And I think, Laura, you'll probably need to get me up to speed with where we're at with questions and.
Okay, so I just explained very briefly to everybody that I'm not you, and that if they wanted to ask a question, we'd absolutely love them to speak live and to pop their name in the questions box. We've got the chat box in case you've got any technical problems, but if you pop your name in the questions box, we can invite you up to the stage, and we have somebody coming up. The next person ready to come up is Debraj, if I pronounce that correctly. But what I haven't done, Lisa, is everybody sort of a guided tour of you and graduate ambitions. So I'll leave the stage now, and I'll let you carry on.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, totally.
And yes, I think Marie and Bianca probably introduced themselves before I came on, and again, apologies for being late, but Graduate Ambitions is the part of our business that supports graduates as they transition from university to the workplace, and really we offer a lot of tools and services to help you with your job search, job applications, and, you know, your selection processes. And even as you're successful in your selection processes, what does that mean as you move into the workplace and transition at that very end stage? And part of the reason for having these Q&A sessions is because although I've got a lot of experience working with different companies on their graduate recruitment and development, we get so many questions from people who weren't really getting, I would say, the truth of the matter and the real understanding about what employers were looking for, and how to really position yourself in a big market of candidates. And so we wanted to make sure that you had access to more than just our advice and really be able to get some of that from employers and other experts in this field. And so we started this Graduate Ambition series back in September, with the intention of it being three sessions, and now we're on session number 9. And so we're really glad to have Marie and Bianca on the session this evening to help support and answer some of your questions. But I don't want to eat too much into your time. So yes, Debraj, we will get you up onto the stage and you can ask your question, and we can then, get you some advice, tips. I think Laura will be moving you onto the stage. You might have to, Debraj, accept the invite to come up to the stage. I see you're coming on now. I can see, Debraj, that you've come up as a speaker, but it hasn't, for some reason, you're not shown on the screen. Laura, while we're checking that out, because can you check how Debraj has joined, if it's been through a laptop or another device, because that might be stopping it. And in the meantime, if we can hear from Sanjeet. I just moved to answered, which is actually the case.
Hello, hi.
Hi, Sanjeet. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How are things?
Good, good. I've got over my technical issues, but yes, looking to help you out. So what brought you on here this evening? What questions do you have for us, and what help are you looking for?
Yes, first of all, thank you for having this webinar. It's useful for students like us. And so my case is slightly different in the sense that I've been working for a couple of years as a journalist in India, and I'm now trying to change careers into digital marketing. So I'm currently doing my master in digital marketing from Loughborough University, from the London campus. And I'm in my first semester, and I'll graduate next year. Just some guidance from you on how I can make a career transition. Because I'm not a fresher, I've worked for some time. So any thoughts or ideas that I should do or work towards in this 8-9 months or 1 year that I have to ensure that I can bridge the gap?
Okay. Marie, Bianca, I don't know if any of you, Marie, you want first?
Yeah, sure. I want to say, for me, it would be a case of getting your story kind of prepared. You know, why are you making this transition? What were you passionate about? How can you transfer this knowledge and all the skills that you have acquired in your experience and put them forward for your new career path? I think that would be a really good start. And I think making sure that when you build your CV, you have this kind of consistency across your strengths. And again, and that's my role in terms of development manager. You will hear me again and again saying, you know, capitalize on your strengths. That's what makes you you and unique as well. So I want to say getting your story and building your CV based on your strengths and make sure that it's consistent.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, yeah, definitely. Like Marie was saying, it's kind of, yeah, again, how you tell your story. So how you are going to contextualize, you know, your career transition. And a lot of the time, you know, it's not a complete career change. It kind of makes sense when people kind of do a kind of sidestep, or, you know, they transition into another career or another type of job. It's the way that you're going to do that. And of course, in your CV and in your cover letters, you need to get that kind of, across and outline it in a way that, you feel comfortable with and it makes sense. I think in terms of practical things that you can do, so you're doing your masters, but getting some practical experience, hands-on experience in any way you can for the kind of job that you want to get as a graduate is really key. So this can be, online, or volunteering, or even working on personal projects, but any type of where you can apply the learning and the knowledge that you're doing on your masters, and that's going to kind of give you that advantage when you come to applying for jobs. And looking at jobs now, looking at the job market, what kind of jobs are there with your course, or getting in touch with alumni who've done your masters, and getting on LinkedIn, following organizations and looking at job adverts and seeing what they're asking for. So then you can obviously, try to upskill throughout your course as well. So, marketing is quite a high demand area at the moment. It seems to be very popular, as you might know. So the masters is great. You'll be getting great knowledge, but it's getting that applied learning experience as well, and the kind of the practical side as well really help you. So those are a couple of kind of pragmatic strategies that you can take. Hopefully that's helpful.
Okay.
And Sanjay, I would say in terms of what Bianca's just mentioned, a company called Studenteer, who actually actively support charities and looking for students to come along and kind of volunteer projects. And a lot of actually those projects are around about digital marketing and just all kinds of marketing actually. So it might be worthwhile getting in touch with them because they have got lots and lots of opportunities. And so that might be a way of getting some of that practical advice. But I think that you're actually in really quite a fortunate position because you have got additional experience to draw upon. And I think as you tell that story about why you're transitioning into this new kind of part of your career, it's really important to highlight the fact that you're not starting from scratch. You do have experience to build on. You've already been in the workplace. You've developed a lot of the skills that, other graduates who are fresh out of university need to start developing. So actually, when you are applying for job roles with companies, although you are in this kind of new field, you come with a lot of experience already that you can draw upon. So it's really important to put that across, that level of transferable skill that you've got, and the fact that you can, you've probably got a level of maturity around about some of the skills that, as I said, some of the other graduates who are just fresh out of university won't have. So something to build upon.
Okay. No, that's interesting. I mean, I think yes, volunteering experience will definitely count and help me to work on projects that I can add to and build my skill set. Could you repeat the name again of the organization?
Studenteer. We'll put that in the chat and then also on the email that you get following on from this, because they offer lots and lots of opportunities.
So I'll definitely check that out, yes.
I can see that Rebav has also put a couple of links on the chat for different kind of groups and volunteering sites. So you'll be able to find them on the chat as well, which will be useful for you.
Thanks. Sure, I'll definitely do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
You are very welcome. We, I think, are going to try to hand the mic now over to Ash. Yes, we have. I don't know what happened the last time, Debraj. It came up that you had been given access and then it suddenly disappeared again. So apologies for that.
Yes.
How can we help you?
Good afternoon, Mari, Bianca and Lisa. Can you hear me and see me properly?
We can indeed, yes.
Yes, actually, I think there was some technical problems in the internet or having some error, so that's why I got disconnected. I am a medical doctor from India. I did a master's in public health from the UK. and my course was completed last year in January 20. And as the Tier 4 visa ran out, and at that time UK was not giving the complimentary post-study work visa, so I had to come back home. So here I am applying for the relevant jobs, as well as I mean locally, as I am a doctor, I have started practicing internal medicine, that is general medicine with cardiology, dermatology, all these group subjects here, and I am applying to this relevant public health budget in the UK. I have already sought help from Bianca regarding redecorating my CV as well as things, and I'm also planning to take more of her help as to, because I need to redecorate my CV. I have been in this lockdown. I have learned German language to the level of A2, as well as I am taking various courses from websites like Udemy, FutureLearn, etc., from London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, University of London, regarding this COVID-19 pandemics and all these cases. So I think it should be added up in the CV as well. And I am taking virtual experience programs from some websites as well. So this needs to be added in the extracurricular activities on the CV part. So I really need help. By the way, the main concern which I am having now, that is, I have been applying to jobs in the UK, be it on NHS or other bodies who has the capability to sponsor Tier 2 working visa for me. Now, very unfortunately, those have not been successful. In some cases, they do not give feedback, and in other, they just tell no, we are extending your application. And then in the majority of those cases, it was expected, as I saw in the right hand part of the page in LinkedIn. Maybe you must have seen it. The seniority level is written, whether it's associate or beginner or intermediate or whichever it is. Now, as I do not have experience in working as a public health officer or graduating, so obviously in this section I have to start as a newcomer only, beginner. Now, as majority of the jobs are on high senior level, on associate level or expert level, so there's a good chance that it becomes rejected. So my question to the employers is, if you don't give chance to the beginners or have some internship, vacations or training periods for this, then how can we gain some experience to secure this senior level jobs? I think I'm clear what I'm trying to say to you.
I do. It's very, very difficult, that whole you need experience to get experience conundrum that people face. Can you hear us okay, Debraj?
By the way, your voice is not clear. I think for this same technical problem, it's interrupting in it, so it's not clearly audible.
Okay. Before we put this out to the panel, I want to ask you a question. You are we've lost connection. Are you there, audio? Can you still hear us audio-wise, Debraj?
Yes. Now I can hear a little bit clearly.
Yes. Sometimes having the video off helps. I wanted to ask, you are submitting a lot of applications. What are you doing about building up your network of contacts in the UK? Because sometimes it's not about what you know, about who you know and who can help to give you access to opportunities or who can recommend you. How do you go about your networking?
Yes, very good question, Lisa. Now, had I taken admission this year, then after graduating, we could have got this post-study work visa list. Then I could have joined some fairs, job fairs, or any these meetings. I could have extended my this known persons list. recommendation list. Nowadays, this is very important while applying for a job, because nobody wants to donate job to a newcomer. In most of the companies, this happens. The junior subordinates of these other persons are offered first. If they do not qualify, then only they put this on LinkedIn. So this has become a very, very difficult part. Unless and until we know the person who is going to allot the job, unless and until we are very close to them, unless and until they know us from beforehand. So this has become very difficult. Now, had I been in UK, as I mentioned before, this have been easier, and I could have, this networking part, it could have done better. But now, as I am in India, so this is very hard. Still, I try to communicate on LinkedIn to different persons, but it's very difficult to identify whom to approach, whom to ask for this. Right, and in some companies, though they have the tier 2 sponsoring capacity, the total number of letters allotted to them by the government is either ended or not ready to sponsor, or they are going to sponsor it to some other fields in jobs. So that's why they have lost it. So this is happening. So that's why really is a doubt now as a what.
Yeah, I don't know, Bianca, if you've got any other thoughts. I still in my head, I'm thinking about networking, but I'm also thinking about use of agencies and things like that. I don't know what your thoughts are on those, or anything that you would recommend.
I would say, yeah, so the networking, like Lisa said, is a lot who you know, not what you know. But in your industry, you might find that not a lot of people working in that field are on LinkedIn. It might be that, it's other ways, other routes and ways to build up networks, like attending webinars.
Hello.
Right. Hello.
Oh,
yeah.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
By the way, Bianca, again your voice is, stuttering in between, and I can't hear. Can you press the page again?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, a little better.
So so I guess whatever is not working for you now, it's starting to think about what can you do differently. Okay, so thinking out the box, thinking what skills do I have? Where even looking through the skill shortage list of jobs and industries in the UK at the moment. So those are the jobs that are being sponsored at the moment. There are lots of healthcare jobs that are being sponsored. Yes, they might not be the ones that you want right now. However, it's a foot in the door initially, and you don't want to go too below your skills and your experience and your knowledge. But looking at the jobs that are being sponsored, the companies that are open to diversifying their workforce and sponsoring people on the skilled worker visa, the UK at the moment it's a bit of a minefield with the sponsorship, because obviously because Brexit. They're actually sponsoring a lot of Europeans now. So they're using their sponsorship license for Europeans as well as people outside Europe. So it's more competitive than it was. And obviously with COVID, a lot of other employers aren't sponsoring because of the financial implications. However, there are still jobs, and there are still jobs in healthcare, and there are still employers sponsoring. So it's basically thinking, right, where are my skills? What other jobs can I look at in healthcare? And then looking at the skills shortage occupation list, which is on the gov.co.uk website. It tells you exactly the jobs. And then you can look also on the register of sponsors to see if the employers have a license. So so thinking what could you do differently that you aren't doing it at the moment, and kind of re-strategize, and like Lisa said, building your network as well. But it's just it's challenging, but it isn't impossible. Not impossible. Yeah, persevere.
Yes, I am trying, because even every month if you send at least 2 good quality application and then it gets rejected, so it doesn't give a good feeling at all. Still I am keeping positive and trying to send nice as well. So including NHS, all this public. Yes, I was saying the list. I have downloaded it from the gov.uk website. All these London boroughs say Newham or whichever it is, these have the tier 2 license, as well as the all county councils, be it Essex, Sussex, Middlesex, etc. So as I told, so in all SEM, while writing, the only in one paragraph they are writing that in these cases we are in it's hard to select between the right candidates, so sometimes we have to make the tough decisions, and we are thinking as not to forward your application. So then this thought came to my mind. Now if I get a intern training, public health fit, or a vacation course or something to gain some experience, then the CV would become stronger. And I think the employers are seeking for this only. So once this student have a basic experience, be it 6 months or 1 year or 1.5 years, then they would get it. Now the where I am going to get this. So apart from UK, I was seeing this Netherlands, one company based in Amsterdam, Institute of Global Health Development. So sometimes they give vacancies in our related public health related posts. So I have been tracking this company. So if there are any schemes to gain some temporary experience there, so let's see whether they sponsors the working visa in the Netherlands for this. And there are 2 other options which also I have thought to be able to practice medicine in the UK. We need to give the PLAB exam, PLAB test. So once a student takes proper training, and including the English language test, which is called OET, and then this exam, if he clears it, this is a good option. The success rate of PLAB is 65%, as I have heard. So this can be called as a semi-hard examination. And last but not the least, that is once a student secures a PRship, then he is in a good position to secure a job, because once a PRship is obtained, then we don't have to seek a working visa sponsor. In UK, it is tier 2. I don't know about the USA and Canada. So anyhow, this once this PRship, we can directly add this line to our LinkedIn profile that we have obtained PRship for this country. So I don't need a visa to be able to working here. So this will be a good step. So I am also thinking to apply for Canadian PRship as well, as to obtain PRship in Canada is comparatively easier than other countries. Right.
Well, Debraj, I am actually really impressed with the amount of options that you have investigated and you're looking into, because it just shows that you're not waiting on what you can do for the UK, and I think it's very
Lisa, by the way, Lisa, sorry to interrupt you again. This connect is really faulty today. Can you please refresh once more?
Yes. I was just saying that I am very impressed with all of the options that you are considering at the moment. I think you are definitely researching every possible option that is available to you, and I think that will only help your success in the future. And it's been really refreshing to hear, actually.
I agree.
You know, you don't just have this option of looking for a job in the UK, you're looking to gain experience already where you are, and also very much in other countries, targeting specific companies. I think you are doing everything you possibly can. I think look at that networking piece and try to build that up where you can. And I think, as Bianca suggested, it might not be your most ideal role that you apply for initially, but to get into the actual sector that you're looking for, it's good to get a foot in the door. And so I would ask if you can keep us up to date with your progress. I'd be really interested to hear how you go, the same as everyone else. And I think everyone on here is very keen to say good luck. I know that Marie is having to actually leave the call now due to childcare issues. So as we say goodbye to Marie, we will also hand you off Debraja, and I think we have someone else coming on to speak just shortly.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Yes, I will say goodbye to Marie and say thank you so much for coming on this evening and giving your advice. It's greatly appreciated. And if we have any questions left over from this evening, we will post them on LinkedIn, and Marie will also give her thoughts and advice on those. So if we don't have a chance to hear from people, don't worry, you'll still get Marie's advice after this. So
Thanks,
thank you so much. We will let you know. Thanks. And yes, I think we've got Rohan coming on now to ask a question. Is that right, Laura?
And then there were two.
Then there were two, yes. I will just check what is happening here. There's Rohan. Hi, Rohan. How are you this evening?
Hello, everyone.
Hi. How can we help you?
I am a student and I want to study in UK, but I have financial issues. I need some information about how to get a scholarship and all, how to apply. I know nothing about this.
Okay. On our free resources, Rohan, we have got a list of some websites that might help you with that are UK based. They offer scholarships, bursaries, different types of funding for students. Now, you would have to see what ones are applicable for you, for your country. But Laura will put in the chat the address, the site address for our member site, and you can go on there, and in the free resources we've got a financial hub, and in there we've got a list of some websites that would possibly help you with understanding that scholarship process for the UK. And I think then it would be also down to individual universities in terms of what scholarship opportunities they have year on year. Sometimes they have people, benefactors who offer scholarships for a certain number of people. Sometimes that's companies, sometimes it's actually individuals or their estates. And so with that, it would be contacting actual universities to understand what opportunities they have for scholarships. I don't know, Bianca, if you've got anything, any other options that you've heard of through the work.
I think have a look at those resources that Lisa mentioned, and then I would say, I mean, these might be on the resources that you provide, but British Council would be a kind of go-to website. So for information about scholarships broken down by country, and also if are you in India, or where are you?
I'm from Bangladesh.
Yeah, Bangladesh. So then you'll have like agencies where they recruit for universities in the UK, and then they often have advice and information on scholarships and bursaries. So don't know ones in Bangladesh off the top of my head, but yeah, so there would be, and then the universities as well. So I know like University of York, so they have quite a lot of scholarships at the moment for international students. So they've just kind of launched some. So that'd be one just off the top of my head. But yeah, I think the British Council is probably, and that might be on Lisa's resources.
Yeah, it's on that list.
Yeah, so to kind of go to one. Yeah.
Is that helpful, Rohan?
Yeah. Thank you.
You are very welcome.
Well, the other one is UCAS as well, which again might be on Lisa's, ucas.com, and there's a section for international students on there as well. So,
yeah. So you should find all these. As we send out the information after tonight's session, you'll get all of the links. I think Laura's already put that in the chat, that she'll send the recording out, and also all of the links that we've mentioned. But they'll be in the chat as well, so you'll be able to access them straight away if you want to. But there are definitely sites there that can help you with getting that information, and also how to approach it, and the timelines around about the applications for scholarships and so on. So you should be able to hopefully get all the information you need from that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You are very welcome. I wanted to touch on something that Bianca mentioned earlier on, and this is probably more general for everyone. I know we had a question before we came online from someone who wanted to understand the list of companies in the UK that offered sponsorship, and specifically they were looking for STEM companies, and that was something that Bianca mentioned earlier on, that's available on the government website. But I know, Bianca, it's not just as easy as a big list of companies that you can filter and search on. I don't know if you want to tell people a bit more about what's available on the government website from that perspective.
Yeah, so there is some of you might already be aware of the register of licensed employers who have the sponsorship license it's the skilled worker visa now that's replaced the tier 2. And there's like 33,000 plus on that list. So it's quite, a complex list. You can't really filter it. And it's a bit of a minefield. So it is a good reference point. So what I do is, if a client sends me a job that they want to apply for, to save them time and to save them wasting their time, especially at the moment, what I would do is I would look at that list. And this is something you can do by yourself. You just basically scroll through the list. You have an idea of which page is, it's in alphabetical order, and then you would see that they have a sponsor license, and then you can apply for that they have the potential to sponsor you. So you're not wasting your time in your job search. So you really want to, especially if you're on a tier 4 visa and you have an expiry date, you don't want to be wasting your time in your job search. The other thing, at the moment, there are some employers on that list that aren't sponsoring, but they do tend to state that in the job advert, or, they'll kind of you kind of need to use a bit of your professional judgment about, okay, are they going to be open to sponsorship? Asking that you have the right to work in the UK, then, it gives you an indication. If they, that they might not be willing to, or if they say, they're really big on diversity and inclusion and they're looking to tap into global talent, that gives you an idea that, they're open to sponsorship, and they're still open to sponsorship, even in COVID times and this time, and they're on the register of sponsored license holders. So, so it's that kind of, those strategies and techniques that, I use. It saves a lot of time. And, as an international student, you can be and graduate, or applying from overseas, you can just get into that panic mode. You're just applying for anything and everything, and they haven't even got a license to sponsor you, or they're not sponsoring. And then you become disheartened because you feel that there's no jobs with sponsorship. But, there are. One of my clients just got a job, and she started this week, in the pharmaceutical sector. So, that was after, real hurdles that she had to go through with the sponsorship, and she did get one. And there are jobs, and there are employers willing to sponsor, but you need to really go through the job adverts. You need to look at on that list. You need to be quite strategic and quite meticulous, and that saves a lot of time, and it's quality over quantity, I always say as well. Which, it's easy to go quantity over quality. I've been there myself, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It doesn't, and employers can tell when you've just sent off a generic application compared to those students and graduates who really spend time, doing their research and being targeted about the companies they want to apply for. And I couldn't agree more with what Bianca mentioned about, if you're out there applying for everything and you're getting rejections from companies that aren't even offering sponsorship, and essentially you didn't need to get that rejection, because if you do your research and you focus on those companies who are able to even consider you for sponsorship, then that makes a huge difference to you. Your confidence in the applications that you're applying for. It doesn't impact then on your own motivation and resilience when you are getting rejections that you didn't need to get in the first place. And I know Debraj mentioned that also is so demotivating when you're just told again, no, we don't offer sponsorship, or you've not been successful. So you want it to be that you're giving yourself the best opportunity possible. So those are some great tips that Bianca's just given about where to start and how to target companies that are going to be open to international students applying.
Yeah, and there are those, there's websites specifically for people with, who require sponsorship. So there's the youhired.com website. So that's quite a new platform that was launched last year by an international student. And it's filtered by, to skilled worker visa jobs, and it's aligned with the new points-based system that the government launched in January. So if you're outside the UK, it's particularly helpful because it calculates the points that, you need 70 points to get into the job, to get the sponsorship. So ukhired.com it's called. And then for students, there's Bright Network that have internships, placements, graduate schemes as well. And the other one is Student Circus. So that's, again, if your university is subscribed and they're a partner, then you get full access. But if not, then you can sign up for a 30-day free trial with student email address. And again, that has placements, internships, and graduate schemes, which are all different things in the UK. And again, this is something that poor international students, they sometimes they're looking for the wrong types of jobs, because placement in India means something different than it does in the UK. So it's the wording of things, and that needs to be clarified a lot of the time again, and that would save a lot of wasted time on job search. So those are the three main websites that you should be looking at really for specific sponsored jobs.
Yeah. And Laura has already put them in the chat for you. So again, you'll be able to access them straight away if you want to. But as well as that, they will come out to you in the email that we send out after tonight's session, along with the recording. So you should get that before the end of the week. We just obviously have to download the video and do a bit of editing, make sure that we've got all of the information from the chat that we need to put on there. So I am very conscious of time, and I know that apologies again that I was a bit delayed at the start. I know that Bianca and Marie and Laura set you all up and started off the session without me, so that was really great. But I want to thank all of the students who have come on this evening and have asked all of the questions, and I hope that the responses have also helped everyone else who has been on the call listening. And a big thank you to our panel members. Bianca, obviously, I know Marie's already left, but thank you so much, Bianca, coming on. I know that this is really the support that you have been offering for quite some time now to international students. So it's been so great to have your expertise to add to the panel this evening. So thank you for that. We do have. Sorry, Bianca. Were you going to say something?
No, just like that.
All right. We do have some time at the end of this session, a session for some networking. I don't know how much networking you have all had the opportunity to do, especially virtually. So we do like to offer that opportunity at the end of the session. But like real life, we say this is for people who want to stay. We don't. It's not that you must. Bianca and myself will go back into the lounge area where you were when you first joined the call this evening, and select a table, and Bianca and I will be at different tables, and so you can come on and we will encourage you to do some networking between one another. But we do know that some people will have to leave. We do know that people might join and leave after kind of 10 minutes or so. Some people might need to nip to the toilet or grab a drink. That's all okay. But we are about, for the next kind of half an hour, 45 minutes or so. Yes, we can finish this session now, and we'll go into the lounge area, and we'll be about for anyone who stays.